We live, baby.
Live.
What's the deal, my good people? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Sonny?
Oh, nothing.
It's been a while since we've been
Just
on. Crockett and
just
Tubbs been
chilling.
been kind of down, but we back, y'all. We back. We just like this.
Live. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, oh, that volume, Sonny. That volume. So today I have some things I would like to talk about, and I'd like to welcome everybody back from a hopefully a pleasant weekend for most. But I just want to start it off by saying it wasn't pleasant for some people out here in the United States. Um, I just want to start it off now by saying, condolences to all the families that lost someone this past weekend, for the 6 kids that were killed through gun violence. Um, and I'm gonna bring their names up. Um, I can't pronounce her name, but I think her name is Korea Turner, 8 years old in Atlanta.
Grab me a monster, please.
She was sitting in the car with her mom and another adult when gunshots rang out, and the driver tried to park in a parking lot, and right where the same where that dude Rashad Brooks died at, close to the area, and more gunshots started firing at the car, and she died um, fatally. Um, Another kid, um, Rhoda DeMarco Giles, 8 years old in Hoover, Alabama. He was shot and killed while he was in a mall. Uh, he was shopping in the mall. Innocent bystander caught in crossfire between a group of guys in the River Chase Galleria Mall in Alabama. And he was one of the bystanders struck by bullets. Um, Devon McNeil, 11 years old, Washington, D.C. Um, he was visiting family and he got shot walking in the house. He ran to go into the house to get a phone charger, and his aunt see him come in the house, and she thought he was ducking from the bullets, and he was actually got shot. He got hit in the head, and when she saw the blood, that's when he knew he was shot.
Where was
Um,
that?
that was in D.C.
Hmm.
You got Natalia Wallace, 7 years old in Chicago. She was playing in a yard at a cousin's house, and families in a car pulled up. It was firing at a group, a gathering outside the house, and she was struck. She was shot in the head. Um, and at the same, and another kid, 14 years old in Chicago, was also killed on the 4th of July. And a 6-year-old kid in San Francisco, um, in Bayview, San Francisco, was found with a gunshot wound after calls was received, according to police. Um, it was just they don't have as much detail like the other ones, but it's the same as a senseless violence act that became tragic when the kid was killed in Chicago, in San Francisco. I just it's the gun violence. I understand the rights, the Second Amendment right and all that, but it's you got to be smart about. We got to be smart to know who we let who we put these guns in the hand. I know we can't always see everybody and know who has a license and who don't. And
Yeah, but nine
but
times out of 10, the crimes that you're talking about that are being committed by people that probably aren't allowed to have guns
right,
anyway.
right, that's what I'm saying. So they got to figure out a way to. I mean, I know in some places trying to get the guns off the street, like back home, it's hard to get a license. But at the same time, you have the criminals. I just say yeah, like that criminals out there in the world that get their hands on these guns and they have access to it. I mean, the police they got. I mean, they got to do a better job at trying to police up that part. And I'm pretty sure they are, but I don't live in that world of the authority, the police, and all that. But I just think they got to do a lot. They got to do a lot better than focusing on the Second Amendment right and trying to get the guns out of the people that don't need to have these guns. I mean, Second Amendment, they can't change the right. Only thing they can do is add to it. Like they say, like in the military rules, you can't change the rules. You only can add to what the rule is. Just like kind of like how when you brought up you can't wear a mask, and before all this corona stuff, you can't wear a mask and walk around with a gun license. That's part of, and that's in the
I
law.
found out that that's incorrect, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I read the actual law on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like as long as you're not committing a crime, and as long as you're not basically committing a crime or trying to intimidate somebody. So
Okay.
you could actually wear a medical mask and still carry a gun. That's actually I was wrong about that. I'll always admit when I was wrong, by the way.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I was quoting you.
Yep.
I was getting there. Speaking of quotes, we got a game I want to play later on called quotes. I ain't gonna say what it is until that time comes, but it's a part of it. It has the word quote in it. So for those that's watching, make sure at the time you get ready to dive into your phone to find some quotes.
Oh, before we jump into anything, I just want to really quick um, show you something that I thought was pretty damn freaking cool. Um, I'm just going to share the screen real quick. If I can figure out how. All right, here we go. Let me get rid of the Sonny and Crockett picture there. Bring up. Is it a Chrome tab? Yes, it's a Chrome tab. I just wanted to give myself a pat on the back because check out these numbers: 73K, 518 likes, 278 reposts, 76 comments. People are really engaging on this song.
No,
These are
the
all.
song is dope, bro. I
Yeah,
like that
thank you.
song.
These are all comments. So this song is doing really well. It's like doing the best out of any song that I've ever been a part of. So I just thought that was really cool.
That's dope. I mean,
Wanted
for those that
wanted
haven't
to,
heard it, Sonny did this song called Floyd, and lyrics by alongside Nate out there in Canada, and it's the song is dope. Um, it's really dope, and it's really about not Sonny did the beat, but we never. I didn't know. No one knew. We didn't know what he was going to write, what the guy was going to write, and uh, when it came back, I was like, "That's it. That's the song right there. That's the song. It's dope."
well, I did tell him. I said write about George Floyd, but that's all I said. I didn't give him any lyrics or anything. He came up with everything on his own.
Right. I mean, he always do. I mean, I gotta send him some stuff so I can work with him. I do have some stuff in mind that I want to work with North so that. So it's out there. So Nate, if you see this, I want to work with you. We're gonna work together. It's about that time. But yeah, man. I do want to also bring up this. I'm a vet. I'm a soldier. I wore the uniform, and when I heard this news again from a soldier from Fort Hood, it kind of it hit me just like every other news I've heard from Fort Hood when I was there. But Private Vanessa Guillen, if I'm saying her name right, she was a soldier that came up missing, and now kept popping up missing. They didn't know where she was at, and she came up missing, and she died. Basically, she died April 22nd, and her body was found last week, and found in 3 different places, 3 different locations, and just to read the story, it brought back other memories of soldiers that I knew that was going through stuff, even including myself, and you're not getting the support. But she was sexually harassed by. It said in the article, it said her NCO. Now, when some people like might say NCO and that's sergeant or whatever, and the guy that actually did it was a specialist. He could have been working. What the hell? I'm sorry, my daggone Siri just picked up something. I didn't say Siri, but he could have been working in the NCO's position, so he could have been her sergeant as for position wise, but he was a specialist. Black guy, Specialist Robinson. Um, he basically was harassing this girl. At one point, he followed her and watched her take a shower. Um, and from that point, she spoke to her chain of command. I guess she talked to her chain of command, but they wasn't giving her the support that she needed. And basically, he killed her with a hammer in an armory room on base. I guess in their unit, they was both soldiers. He left the base.
Was there a history between these two? Like, why did he kill her?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was sexually harassing her. As far as I know, they didn't have no relationship together. None of that. They wasn't involved. But you have people that stalk. You got them predators out there that just follow you, though, or they try to be friendly and want to do everything with you, and then next you know they do something weird, and then okay, now you need to back up, and that's especially in the military and basic training. They talk about that all the time. Drill sergeants always trying to come on to the trainees, because they don't know nothing, they don't know better, but the drill sergeants do. So when it happens, and when the drill sergeant get caught, it's a whole big scandal. Because now everybody's coming out, 5, 6 females, 7 females from past classes will come in and say, yeah, I was one of those ones and this and that. In this case, from what the family was talking about, that they wasn't getting any response. They was being told lies from the military. No, I don't know this guy's background because he took his own life as a coward. He couldn't face what he did when he found out the authorities was on him. When he found out that they actually found when they found her body parts, he fled Fort Hood, and that's when he left. The girl what's her name, Cicely Aguilar, I guess that was his, the girl that was involved with him, because she helped. I don't know if she's a soldier, but when it happened, he left Fort Hood to come back and he brought her back, and they moved the body. And that's it's off the article I read. They moved the body, and they first tried to burn it, and it didn't go well. So they dismembered it and put it in different areas. But last week, I believe it was Wednesday of last week, that's when the body just appeared up and came up, and the girl, Cicely Aguilar, told authorities and everything. That's when she started talking with authorities, and that's when he fled for what he was facing. Well, Robinson committed suicide on Wednesday. Aguilar is facing 20 years plus $250,000 fine if found, guilty for conspiracy to tamper with evidence. I'm like, that's one charge to me. I think she should be charged with accomplice, because even though she didn't kill her, he did the killing. He went and got her, but she knew when she saw that and she seen what was going on, she didn't do anything. She went along and chopped the body up, burnt the body, and disposed of it and everything like that. She's tampering with the evidence, but at the same time, I think she should be accomplice. So I think she should get more than 20 years. I mean, the guy's gone, so he can't get his. But I think even though he would have had the 2 charges most likely, because he did tamper with the body part, with the evidence, and he did the murder, he would have definitely got the act. But because she helped out, I think she should get the accomplice as well. That's just me. I mean, I've seen so many Law and Order TV shows where if you help out, you're an accomplice.
I know nothing of this case that you speak of, so I can't speak on it.
Oh yeah, it's out there. It's out there.
Is it?
Let me see. The attorney Natalie, I don't know if I'm saying her name, Kawan, believed Gillian was sexually harassed by Robinson. On one occasion, he followed her to the shower. That's like it goes in real deep. I think I've seen it actually. It's on Facebook. It's a clip of actually the attorney actually talking in the press outside, talking with the press about the whole situation. And I think this is before. I think this was before or after they found her. Like now that I read this article on Friday. That's why I got this note. So I seen that video before. So now that I read it, I think it was the day that they found her.
Wow.
Yep. So I just want to give my condolences to the Gillian family, and the family of the 6 kids that lost their life over this weekend. Something that's supposed to be celebrated, especially for soldiers and vets, and for kids to see fireworks. It's sad. For every year, that date is nothing to be celebrated for anybody, and that family. For even for me, just knowing that every year 4th of July, if I can think of this date and think of this, then I can probably remember those kids next year, or even Gideon. But I mean, we got to change. It's as a society, I think we got to change. We got to be more responsible. We gotta. It's a lot that got to happen. The police got to get policed up. There got to be a change there. We got to be a change in a lot of stuff. It's so many things that got to happen for us to get back right. Like we like what's that movie? Life we can't get right. We can't get right.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
You never seen Life? What? Oh my god, bro!
What is it again?
Life.
Life
With Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. Oh my
No,
god!
I
Y'all
don't
see
think
this?
so.
Y'all hear this? Oh my lord! If you watch Life, you will continuously watch that movie all the time, bro.
I love
It's,
Eddie Murphy,
it has
so
Bernie Mac in it, and Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy.
yeah, I'm sold. I love
That's a classic
I
Eddie
love me
Murphy
some
movie.
Bernie Mac.
Oh yeah, it's all you got all the actors in that. It's
Him go upstairs.
Bernie Mac. I miss Bernie Mac, but yeah,
Yeah,
that movie
man.
right there, him downstairs. Yeah, man, we can't
Him
get right.
downstairs.
Can't get right. Can't get right was a character that couldn't talk. He was deaf. He was athletic. He could play baseball. He had no name. He couldn't tell nobody name, so he was like he can't get right. That's the name they gave him. So we as the United States, we can't get right. Can't get right from life. Like we are not right. We got a lot of stuff that we have to fix for our country to be can't get right. I can say this. President Trump is the dude from Full Metal Jacket. The dummy, the one that kept getting
No, Trump's the drill sergeant.
nah. I mean, they both died. I mean, but he's the dummy that couldn't go over the wall. He's the one he's a moron, bro. He's a moron. He sometimes you think he got some sense, and then in that same notion, like bipolar, he says some dumb shit and it makes you like, oh come on, man. You had me for a second. Like I didn't
The thing with Trump is I don't think he's dumb. I think he's just a dummy. Do you know the difference between being dumb and being a dummy?
Yeah, you could do dumb things. People could do dumb things.
He's just a dummy. You know what I mean?
He's an idiot to me. He's more than at least
he's
being
like
a
that.
dummy. You got some kind of common sense. You got some kind of common sense being a dummy. An idiot is an idiot.
I think Trump is narcissistic, and I think he's kind of a dumb. He's a dope. That's a better word for him. So I think he's a narcissistic dope, which is kind of funny. If when you watch him talk, it's pretty hysterical. Like the shit he says. Like nobody knows. Like he'll be talking about a subject, and he'll follow it up with nobody knows more about this than me. And it could be like, like some far out, like Arctic shelving or something. Like nobody knows more about Arctic shelving than me.
But if you think about all the stuff this man has said, come on. I mean,
yeah, that's what makes him hilarious.
Space Force.
He's hilarious. That's what makes him hilarious.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He has that he has the funny jokey. He's the comic relief. We have a comic relief as a president.
Yes.
But that's just plain for me. That's how I can look at him as a comic relief.
I won't disagree with you.
But it's why would a comic? I don't understand why would you want to be a president knowing That's like them pranksters, them people that do them pranks. They almost damn near get their ass killed for doing a stupid ass prank. And once that person that they doing this prank on is chasing them down, he's like, it's a prank, it's a prank. I'm chill. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? So I like pranks, but it depends on what the prank is. Sometimes some of them pranks don't need to be out there. So Trump pranked the United States. He put a prank out there, and the prank was him running for president. And we all fell for the prank, for the ones that voted, fell for the prank, and now they see the effects of what this prank has done. You look at all the presidents over time. Even I mean, you see how every president that we've had.
I'm gonna mute my mic.
Oh yeah, mute your mic. Can't handle it. Every president that we've had, if you look at their speeches, every one of them, they had a speech to where they spoke proper. They spoke intelligently. You don't see that with him.
Nah. Here's the thing. Excuse me. My blunt rolling has gotten much better, but they're still not as tightly packed as what you can produce. Here's the thing. George Bush was also kind of a dope. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like you know, you compare, you make your comparisons to Trump or whatever, but like I'm trying to think of a liberal. Bill Clinton was kind of a dope, right?
I mean, all presidents have their dumb moments. I'm not going to deny that. But when you have dumb moments on a consecutive basis, constant, every time your face is on in front of a camera, you're going to say something dumb and idiotic, and it's going to always be controversial. Every time you speak, I can't remember not one time where they didn't say nothing bad about what Trump has said. Not once. Every time he says something, it's either what is he thinking about? Why did he say that? That don't make sense. It's like I haven't heard nothing about. Oh, he made a good valid point. I like what Trump said. I'm a support this man. And the man, hell to the no. Hell no. And a matter of fact, speaking of, since we're on this Trump thing, I got a game I want to play. It's not even a game, but I want to list. I got 5 quotes that Trump has said, and I know there's a lot of quotes that this man has said. So I would love to see what quotes people can find on what Trump has said. So I'm gonna pull up my 5. I think I actually got 6, but these are my quotes that he actually said these things. I'm not gonna say where he said them at and where I find them at. You got to find them. But he said, I always say talent is more important than experience. I've always said that, but the word experience is a very important word, a very important meaning. That's one. I never did this before, never slept over in Washington. So you're telling me, and that one, I'm telling you never slept in D.C. You make some mistakes like an idiot like Bolton. You don't have to drop bombs on everybody. Then you got the last 2. What we've done, nobody been able to do, but we have more to do. And the last one, at the end of our first term, it's going to be great. It would have been phenomenal. We got hit with the plague. What's going on, Bill Murphy?
How you doing, man?
I'm just reciting some of these quotes that Trump has said, and
well, the funny thing is, you have like two kinds of politicians. At the very least, you got guys like Trump and Biden and George Bush Jr., who clearly sound like they've been hit in the head, like they're not right. And then you got the other ones, like let's say Reagan, and to a certain extent, Bill or Hillary Clinton or President Obama, and they sound silky smooth. But when you look at what their administrations actually did and do, like Reagan's, where like he fought the war on they fought the war on drugs with drug money, and the stuff with bringing the crack into the black community and all that stuff.
Right.
And then you look at the Obama administration and also the George Bush, but he did sound like dumb as a post, and Cheney was like Darth Vader. But then you look at Obama. Obama was like, I promise to end the indiscriminate, warrantless spying. It's an outrage on domestic Americans. And his administration put it on steroids. And then there was all the stuff with like getting Hillary Clinton off, and people say, no, that's bullshit. It's a conspiracy. Clearly, it wasn't a conspiracy. Clearly, there were some strings pulled. I mean, let's just call it all like it is. They're all fucking corrupt. Some of them sound silky smooth and look beautiful.
Right, right.
Some of them sound dumb as a post.
Right. I've always said that the biggest criminal is the politician. It's just what game are they trying to set so they can be the one in that seat?
Right.
But I have to admit, if I had my chance to have a beer with any one of them, it would be Obama.
Oh.
There was some shots of him drinking beer in Ireland. Like he was drinking beer.
I would drink a beer
I can't really drink alcohol, but I would have a beer with Obama.
I have a beer and I want to play some ball with Obama.
Sonny, you're playing it all wrong. You should have a roll with Obama because he does BJJ.
Does he really train?
Yeah, he does. He's blue belt.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God.
I play basketball with Obama and smoke a blunt with Clinton.
Are you telling me Obama is a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I'd have to check if that's his rank, but it is my understanding that he has trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I would like to know who he trains under.
All right, I'll look that up. Obama BJJ.
Yeah, please, because Obama becomes a lot more accessible now to me.
I wonder if this was a hoax. Maybe it was a hoax and I bought into the hoax. No, it was an impersonation.
I fell for the
hoax.
I've seen that video.
All right, I fell for the hoax.
Yeah, how could you fall for that?
hopeful.
It was like some guy's dirty basement. It's like Obama wouldn't be down there. Like, come on.
Maybe he was just keeping it real.
So I'm glad I got you on the set, Bill, for two things. One, for some Corona facts, Corona numbers, and then we already got to talk about Corona. That's the hottest trend thing right now.
All right,
and some sports. What you getting some small? I do sports since it's small. Sports is back. I'm glad it's back, but I think my opinion about like basketball should have stayed going until next year. I think start now is too late. They should just focus on football. I think it's a money thing that they brought basketball back because they was losing out on half of that season after the All-Star break. Big business, they always want to look at the money.
Yeah, well, a couple of things. I'm really, in a way, the wrong guy to talk about sports because if it's not the sports I'm involved in, I hate them. So, like, I hate football. I hate basketball because they take all the money away from the wrestling. If it was boxing, I love boxing.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm totally selfish when it comes to sports.
Now, but you know sports names.
I know some of them. If they're in my sport, I might know them.
So, I mean, you heard of these names. These are famous names. Washington Redskins, Atlanta Braves, Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, so you heard about those teams specifically are going to change the names. You know, especially Washington Redskins are the biggest one that's going on right now.
They've been talking about that forever.
Yeah, they're losing a lot. They lost their Nike sponsorship. They lost their FedEx. The owner, the CEO of FedEx is trying to take his share away from the Redskins. And you know their stadium is called FedEx Field.
Why does everybody want to take everybody's shoes away?
But I mean, if you look at the name the Indians, it's all about what the name stands for, and at the time of how they got their name, why they call them like the Washington Redskins, Atlanta Braves, Cleveland Indians, like all that nationality. I mean, all the Native Indians. A lot of them, like the Redskins, mainly the Redskins, because they had a lot going on. They had an owner that was racist, and they had a statue of him that he's always had outside that stadium for years. They finally removed that statue, like because of what it stood for at the time. Now that everybody's starting to wake up to see what has been out there for all these years, that everybody's trying to wake up. Now they want to say, okay, now we got to change his name, which I have no problem with. They've been talking about changing that Redskins name for years, and they finally now wanting to change it now because of society.
All right, well, I'll give my opinion, and then Bill, you can go. I don't like the idea of changing names like this, not because I'm trying to offend people, and it's the same reason why I'm against. It's the same reason why I'm against taking down statues. The reason why I'm against taking down statues is because, let's say you've got a statue of a guy, for instance, who was a slave owner. Let that statue be up and put on the statue. This was a man who owned slaves, and slavery was a thing that happened in the United States, and like I think it's a scary thing when you start trying to erase history, because what happens when you erase history is history repeats itself, and the last thing that I want to see happen is for this thing to, like, in another 100 years, like, come around again, and the next thing you know, we've gone so crazy that, like, we're a slave owning country again or something. I don't, you know what I mean?
Well, one important point. So I'm gonna address something tangential, and then we'll come back to the point. I apologize, but let's not act like it ever stopped. I mean, in India today, just India, there's 18 million slaves, real slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Not just India. And then certain countries in Africa, they don't have quite 18 million, but they got big numbers. Now, when we look, I think it was 6 million that got taken from Africa to the Americas. And then I think it was a similar number, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, that got taken in the other direction from Africa. But more slaves are alive today in India, real slaves. You can get a kid for $500 in Hyderabad as a slave than were ever
scares
taken.
me that you know the price.
Yeah. Well, because when you get involved with the organizations, you start hearing the stories and the details, and you can even sometimes help get some people out of those situations.
Wow.
But more slaves are alive in India today than were ever taken out of Africa during America's 3 times as many during America's importation of slaves from Africa. Now, the problem is, see this? No, I shouldn't say this because this is my friend Mike Lee's shirt. I'm not pointing at Mike Lee's shirt. But look, here's another one. Who's got their phone?
Me.
See this shit? Slave cotton. It's fucking slave cotton. That's exactly what it is. Everybody says they would never buy slave cotton. If you're buying a cell phone or you're shopping down at Walmart, chances are some kid chained to a fucking desk in India made that. Just like you see in the movies about them African slaves. It's no different. And it never ended.
It still goes on.
It still goes on.
It's
answer terrible.
Sonny's question, a statue, okay, for instance, they make a statue of me. I did something great. Okay, I die. The statue is just something to show gratitude for me, to say, okay, he did this, he was a great guy, did blah, 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 blah. If you got a slave owner that all he did was have a bunch of black slaves on his property, doing this, doing that, yes, master, this, all the slave stuff that followed along with it, and he buys a sports team. Now at that time they cheat. You know what I'm saying? No one knows it's going to be a big thing. But they make a statue for this guy, just like they did Michael Jordan, right outside of Chicago Stadium, because of his accolades, his achievements. They wanted to recognize this man with a statue. When you recognize this, back then, you recognize a statue of somebody that was a slave owner, and you have it, and and that's your representation of a football team for all these years. You have some people that like that guy, the name, he was this, he was a good guy, but the people that know of the history would say that's why they took it down. They took that stuff down because of what the history behind it, not just the person. He represented.
I guess all I'm saying is let's make sure our history doesn't get lost, because it's some
history. Some history ain't good history though.
That's fine. But
that's the most important history not to forget.
That's the most. I was just going to say.
Right.
That's the history. The dirty history of slavery in the United States is something we should always remember. It's something we should always examine and constantly examine and constantly look at it through new lenses, because it was an evil that we did. It was an evil thing that we did.
Right.
So
that's what I'm saying. For the blacks, that's history that we don't forget. But that's like, okay, Trump wants that, let's make America great again. America great for him was what we just talked about. how they want to America to be back in the day, the white America. That's what they want. That's what Trump wants. That's what the hat means. That's like Kaepernick taking a knee. It wasn't to disrespect the flag. It was about what the flag stand for, and that's not what it was standing for. So Trump wanted America to be great again, but it was never great for us.
Check it out in a bit, son.
It wasn't great for us. It was great for everybody other than Native Americans, Indians, that was in this. I mean, Native Americans and blacks in this country. It wasn't great for us.
Can I raise? It's a question. It's not a statement.
Right.
Okay. Because I don't know. Maybe their campaign guys were like, look, if we rile up all the white people, we'll get their votes. We'll energize them. All these conservative white people. How we rile them up? And maybe that's just the kind of thing Trump would do because like he wears the red tie and he's a loud guy, you know, all that stuff. On the other hand, maybe it's a pithy catchphrase, "Make America Great Again." You know, it's only a few words, fits on a hat, and they're talking about things like in trade negotiations with other countries. Why should the U.S. have to pay for Europe's defense, the bulk of it, against, say, Russia, when Germany buys $1 billion worth of oil from Russia with that subsidy? Or why do we have to pay more than everybody else in the climate deal when we don't get anything out of it? Why do we have to pay more than the other guy?
No, why? Because they want us as allies, because they know if something goes down, they can call the United States and fly us out of our country.
Well, then they should pay more if they want us to do that.
That's what I'm saying. The United States always go for the cheapest route. All the equipment that we wear is made by the cheapest person that can make it. You know what I'm saying?
What was Hillary's catchphrase? Anybody remember? I don't remember. Did she have one?
I don't even know because I never voted, so I didn't follow that campaign like that. I just saw faces on TV and knew that she was running.
If we look at Trump, though, like with what he does, he did this clothing line in the hotels. Like he's the kind of guy that would have a catchphrase. It's going to be cheesy. It's going to be corny. But you know we have one.
I mean, yeah. I mean, people like. I mean, he got the right people to like that slogan. The ones that follow him. If you wearing that hat, you support and you follow that message. You understand that message. That message don't feel right to some people. Like,
sure,
it was nothing great to me. Honestly, there was nothing great about what you're trying to make America great for. What you see is going to be great how you see it back then up to now, because you are not my complexion. It doesn't matter how successful I can be, I'm going to still be that black nigga walking down the street. Doesn't matter how much money I got in my account. You don't think athletes get that? Athletes still to this day, doesn't matter how rich and how famous you are, they still get treated because of their blackness. It doesn't matter.
Didn't Wilt Chamberlain said he'd slept with like 2,000 girls?
1,000 women.
1,000 women.
Yep.
Well, he's doing something right. No, I shouldn't say that. Ladies, I apologize. That was wrong. I am sorry. I didn't mean that. But he's got that going for him.
To chime onto that, Wilt Chamberlain, 7 feet. For any woman, it'll be a challenge. I guess you're looking up to somebody. It's a myth thing. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I have sex almost every day, almost Monday, almost Tuesday, almost Wednesday. Almost.
Yeah. This is how we do, y'all. This is what we do. You know what I mean? But hey, what y'all think? I mean, I see some stuff coming in. I mean, I know Janine. I'm on my phone.
I didn't vote for Trump because of the whole "Make America Great Again" thing. Like, Trump pretty much secured my vote when he started going after the media and calling out the media for their bullshit. And I'm very and also the whole SJW movement was moving so far to the left that it was pushing me to the right. And it's funny because me voting for Donald Trump was the very first time in my life that I ever voted for a Republican. Because I told you I voted for Obama twice, right?
Well, I
voted for Obama the first time, but not the second time.
I got a crappy choice of individuals that I got to vote for this year because
you and everybody else, man.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. My first time vote. Look what I got to vote. This is my first time voting. So
Bro,
I mean,
write me.
I guess I got to take. I guess I got to go for Joe. I mean,
Well, actually,
But only thing, my credit for Joe, and I can say because he worked with Obama during that term. That's the only reason why I'm giving it. I just hate the fact that we have all these young politicians in D.C. and every time I see somebody running for president, it's some old dude. Like
Well, this is going to make you mad.
Young.
I should be a better friend because a good friend will not rile his friend up. So I gotta think about this a little bit. And I don't want to rile you up. I want to be a good friend. But isn't it true that Joe had some ties with the Klan? I mean, like, isn't that bona fide true back in the day? He's like holding their hands.
If that's true, that's what I'm saying. I might not vote.
you guys.
I mean, I don't know. Everybody got some form of racism in them. Everybody got some form of racism in them.
You guys are forgetting.
It's just, I don't know. It's like to take my vote that I pride for. You got to think, I never voted. And now I want to vote to make a change. And like, I'm looking at the options I got. It's like, man.
But you guys are all forgetting about the possible next option.
I'm a free agent. Hell no. Hell nah. Hell to the nah. And nothing against Kanye. We need to have somebody in office that served in the military that knows tactical. You can't. How you going to be part of? How you going to be?
Didn't they have that
country and not know anything about the military?
Didn't the Democrats have that Hawaiian lady? And they said, nope, we're not doing her.
Yeah, I mean,
what was her name, Sonny?
I'm not a fan of a celebrity becoming the president. I'm not.
It doesn't work out. I mean, they look good, they sound good. It don't work out.
It don't. I mean, unless Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California.
Yeah, but he wasn't born in America.
I don't live in California, so I don't know if he made even a change for that for California. You know, Ronald Reagan. I mean, wasn't he an actor? Was it?
Oh yeah.
You know, I was too young to vote, so I don't know. So for me,
I'm not even shitting you. If Kanye West runs, I know
you're going.
I know.
Come on, Sonny. I already know you're voting. You got 10. He got 100 votes from you. I already know. I know you're gonna vote for Kanye. Man, listen. I say this. I vote for the person that has the right. Like, what they're gonna do. Give me something that you're gonna do, and not just say it, but you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? For me, what affects me right now, child support. I'm a vet. I want to see y'all do something for the veterans out there that don't have what I have. You know what I'm saying? They don't get dental coverage when they come out the military. They don't get dental unless you have 100%. So you can't get your teeth cleaned. Do something for the vets. Trump said he did stuff for the vets. What did you do other than saying I did stuff for the vets? Like, I've never heard them. I never heard it because I haven't seen it. If he did, I didn't get affected by it. Hell, they took my stimulus, and I'm a vet. From what I was told, vets were supposed to get the stimulus. Didn't matter. Child support got mine, so I'm good. You know what I'm saying? That's my quotes. I'm good because it paid off my child support. It paid it down some. But at the end of the day, I didn't get a child support. I didn't get a stimulus check. And they said the vets were supposed to receive it. But if you owe the government money, you're going to get free money from the government so they can pay that government. Because that's what they did. They gave me free money to pay the government. So that's cool. It brought down my child support, but it's
the other thing you got to look at, and please, Secret Service, understand I am not threatening anybody, nobody. But you have to look at the vice presidents because both of the presidential candidates, like, they're not looking too good. Like, they might not make it.
That's what I'm saying. I like.
Neither one of them look too healthy, in my opinion. They both look like they're ready to fail on neurological
exam. That's what I'm saying. Every time, it's always somebody. Like, Obama was the closest to having somebody young that we had good longevity for. But
he was like John F. Kennedy Jr.
and Bush, because I worked under Bush. Bush was old, but he wasn't like, okay, Joe Biden, he's up there. These people, the United States, we the people would vote for an 89-year-old dude to be the president. We would. I mean, if he said I would make sure everybody get $2,000 if you vote for me, I promise he would have votes everywhere. And he'd be 89 years old, bro. But you'll never see these young politicians like Distinguished Gentleman, Eddie Murphy, that movie, a young politician in D.C. fighting to be president. 30, 40 years old president. You don't see that. You see a 60, 70-year-old president.
So do you think people are really excited about either candidate?
They're excited to see another idiot in the office. It don't matter which one it is. Because they see this is what we got. We got Trump or we got Biden. This is all we got.
Yeah.
So you pick and choose. You pick and choose. Do you want to go through another 4 years with the dude we got now, or you want to give a shot with somebody that actually sat in office with Obama for 8 years?
Yeah, but why should I be excited about somebody that sat in office with Obama? I'm pissed off about the domestic spying.
As I'm saying, I'm learning this whole politician thing. So, like I said, I'm looking at the two people that I'm looking at. Like I was in high school, and you see your peers running for student council. You like, I don't like neither one of them, but shit, I gotta vote for somebody.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is what we got. We got to vote for somebody. Somebody's going to be the next president or the reigning president. And that's just facts. Unless I say, hey, I'm about to run for president, I need all y'all votes. I'll probably get about 5,000 votes.
The other thing is, it's not just about the president, it's about the Congress. So there's no term limits in Congress. I mean, so like by their third term, they got to be utterly corrupt. They're smiling and dialing for dollars.
True. And honestly, I think, everything's always my opinion, but I think all these young politicians, and I'm in Florida, so Ron DeSantis, you throw your ass in the hat. Why are you not out there trying to fight? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying all these, like I said, I probably don't know the steps that you got to take to become president, but.
Because, I mean, I understand you're not going to get somebody that's a total stranger to these circles, but I'm not excited to have another Clinton in the White House. I'm not excited to have another Bush in the White House. I'm not excited to have.
Then for crying out loud.
You know that's playing music, so they're gonna mute that.
Sonny Parlin, Florida Kanye West manager, is the head of the Kanye West party.
But yeah, I mean,
and I'd like to see a vet in office. You bet. Why wouldn't I?
I would love to see a vet in the office because at least I know, at least the military know they might be in good hands because he knows tactics, he knows strategy, he knows how to use, and he'll listen to his military personnel on his staff.
See, I thought we need like an Asian woman as president, because an Asian woman, she's not going to have a favorite from the whites and the blacks and all that. She's got her own thing going on, and she's not going to have the problems of being a male. She can sidestep all that. She'll just come in there and get everything fucking organized and right and go get some shit done.
Man, that'd probably be it. It'd definitely be organized, definitely. They'd be right. You know, the Asian and the China, Japan, you see their industry and you see how they're so far ahead of us as far as technology goes. Just technology alone, they're so far. They got robots, they got AI, they do all this, and I don't never see nothing from us.
My family's Puerto Rican. I mean, we'd love to see a Hispanic president. I mean,
yeah,
bring in somebody new, man.
Somebody, we had the first black. I would love to see a woman president.
Sure.
I would love to see somebody, a female, be a president. Everybody going to say something about a female. Oh, because she's a female, she can't run. Nah, can't say that. You can't say that. It's women running corporate businesses out here. You can't say that no more.
You got Merkel. Merkel's running Germany.
This is what we got. This is what we have as a president. Just think of this. You have an NFL owner, got money, but don't know shit about the sport. So he has all his money, but don't know how to manage with the people he's picking, the people he got running his team. He don't know nothing about the game of football. This is what we got for president. He don't know nothing about running a country. He was a guy that was just made a lot of money. He was a rich guy. He had a casino. He went bankrupt. The casino went bankrupt. Trump Plaza was bankrupt. But
but he's got 4 years experience now.
But still, this man, he 4 years experience. You got just a guy that just made the Shark Tank and all that. This is what he is, but he never did anything. He didn't even go to the military
I was really
at all,
surprised.
like nothing.
I was really surprised that he's running again. I actually said after he won the first time, I said, I bet he don't run again because he already has the bragging rights. Why would he do it? He's a billionaire. What's he doing?
I don't know. Try and make an ass of himself a little bit more. He got 4 more years to try to do that.
I don't think he wants to win. I think he wants to get out of there.
I think it's another prank.
I mean, who in their right mind would want to be
again.
president? Honestly, if you're a billionaire, why would you want to be president?
So he
Yeah,
can
fuck
so
that.
he can mess
dude.
up the
Right.
world. So he can do whatever he wants. Yeah, I think what do we always say? If you ever hit, every time I say I'm gonna hit a lottery, I can do whatever I want. So you already got a millionaire that could do whatever he wants. And you give him the power to run the country. What do you think he's going to try to do? Do whatever he wants.
I'd be picking like a small country with a lot of beaches, something small.
And-
I can
and
just
drop
imagine
everything.
like trying to have sex with my wife, and then the fucking Secret Service busts in with, Israel just bombed Gaza, and you're like, fuck, and you got to stop everything you're doing, jump out of bed. Like that sounds like a terrible job.
What would happen, Sonny, is the president would be like, I'm not getting out of the bed. But the wife would be like, you got to go take care of it. Go.
That's
what would happen.
Yeah.
It's like, go, honey. You got to do it.
So
I got a headache anyway.
speaking of, since we're on this Trump guy, this Orange Avenger, I call him. He doesn't wear, from anything I've ever seen, he doesn't wear the mask at all. But we have to wear masks every time we step out of our house. So I'm looking at the numbers from last week, from Friday into today. And just in the 5 counties that I know we have a lot of counties around here, but I'm only going to say the 5 that we used to hearing: Manatee, Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk. So out of 100,000 cases, 100,000 people, Manatee this is Friday, had 804 confirmed cases, 3,175 deaths, 130. Hillsborough County was 861. Confirmed cases 12,376, total deaths 145. Pinellas County 743, 7,200 plus confirmed cases, 180 deaths. Pasco 421, 2,200 plus confirmed cases, 22 deaths. And Polk County 611, 4,300 plus confirmed cases, and 102. Now, United States, we are at 2.9 million plus cases and 130,000 deaths plus. Florida, we are at 206,000 plus confirmed with 3,778 deaths.
Right, but what's important is that you're not including the timeline in this.
Those numbers was from Friday. What I just said was today.
No, but what I mean is you're counting total deaths, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, that means everyone that's died since the beginning of the pandemic.
Right? I know.
But, like, it would be better to go by, say, weekly numbers now.
Just from, I got John Hopkins up. So just on Friday, with that number I just said, from Manatee County, well, I just say Florida, it was at,
like, how many confirmed new cases and how many new deaths?
I hope the number's small.
Either way, the number is up there. I mean, just it's 2.9 million deaths in the U.S. As just one death is too many. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
What I'm getting at is that
I don't think it's 2.9 million in the U.S. though.
I'm on the John Hopkins like.
Yeah, that can't be the amount of deaths in the U.S.
Well,
it's about 130 with the current count.
No. Not deaths, confirmed cases. I'm sorry. Deaths is 130,000. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got to correct myself. But what I'm getting at is,
look what Janine just put down there. She said the hospitals are full and countless nurses are getting sick here locally. I mean, the medical staff is going to be this funny thing, I mean, they're the first ones that are going to feel the hit, just like the cops out there. They're going to be the first ones to get sick because they have to go to work, and they have to go to work right in the thick of it.
Yeah. I mean, my wife is in it now. They just, they had to move her around. they had to shut down her floor because of they got to use that floor now. They got to move
Oof.
her.
200 sick nurses.
So it's like, yeah, see, this is not a joke. It's like I don't see why people not taking it seriously. And when you have nurses that can't take care of you, and you still coming to the hospital, who gonna take care of you?
Nurses are pretty tough too. I mean, they'll walk through fire.
Yeah.
So if they're feeling it, they're feeling it.
I can admit I can agree with that. I can agree
Yeah.
with that statement. But
Are they,
Janine,
are they
my nurse,
sick or are they just COVID positive? Because those are two different things.
but they can't be at the hospital if they're sick. Either way, if they're COVID positive, negative, if they're coming up sick, coughing, they are not in the hospital. That's another person off the floor, off shift because now she got a quarantine. That's 14 days. So whether the person, God forbid, they are positive or negative, just like if you're negative and that like my wife just told me today, if one of her friends if she's found negative, she has to now continuously get checked every week at her hospital because even though she's negative, she has to get checked constantly now. Like it's crazy.
Just make sure they don't lose the results.
Yeah.
I got my results. I'm negative, and my wife, she waiting to get online so they can stop messing with her password. But I'm pretty sure she's the same way. But I can't go off of me being negative, and I gotta say my wife is negative. I can't. I gotta see. Just like if a person, I'm not going to put myself in this. If a person has sex with somebody with HIV, and they get checked and they negative, who's to say that somebody else don't have it? You know what I'm saying? So I always gotta see in black and white.
For me, it's been 2 weeks since my exposure to that guy who did get COVID, and my wife's test came back negative, and I never got sick, so I have to get back to running my business. I can't wait another week, for another test. So they had their chance.
Right. But she's saying that the people are sick, but not, they just sick. So if they're sick, they can't be at the hospital.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even if they may have a cough or they gotta you gotta go home because they don't know. So yeah, they're full. Like all these hospitals are full. Like Tampa General is not accepting people.
I mean,
they're already full.
Here's the worrisome thing: we're not going to know for 2 weeks if all the July 4th gatherings,
Exactly. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always have my mask on just so I can. It's not about me being negative. Oh, doesn't mean just because I was negative that time doesn't mean I can't get it. You know what I'm saying?
My wife's been asking me to wear a mask for years.
Hell nah. But I mean, I just want to keep myself safe. I mean, I don't like to be sick. Period. I don't like to have the flu. I don't like to have a cough. I don't like nothing to where I'm not the same, and I don't like that. I don't think nobody like to be sick. So I'm not trying to have something that hell we don't know what the fuck it is. Excuse my language. That came from another country. So I'm gonna just keep wearing my mask. Hell, I got it. Man, don't let me bring this thing out. Don't let me put this on. You know what I mean?
Well, one of the things they just discovered, I mean, most of the people in the age range, particularly the males between 20 and 50, are surviving. But for several months, I mean, 65% of them have had erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
No? I just made that up.
I'm glad I don't got that issue.
That's just something I made up just to get a reaction out of Sonny.
Didn't work, buddy. Didn't work.
Because that's the kind of shit you can say to a 20-year-old male, and they will wear a mask. Now you survive, but your dick don't work. They'd all be wearing masks.
Right.
That's the secret. That's going to be my campaign. No, everybody survives, but their dick don't work afterwards. You're going to see everybody in a mask after that. That'll be that.
He said Peter, y'all. He said Peter.
Did I? Are we not allowed to say Peter? I'm sorry.
No. You can say whatever you want.
But yeah, I think we just gotta be conscious of what the numbers show, and that it's straight facts. I mean, numbers don't lie. Whether it's overall from the time it started to a 2-day thing, I like the numbers going up constantly. I mean, whether it's 500, 1,500. And I know every time my wife say, "Hey, you know the numbers went up, the numbers went up, the numbers went up." Every day, the numbers are going up. Whether it's 500, 1,000, 15, 2,000, it's going up. Not just in Florida, it's going up everywhere.
Wasn't our last daily number 11,500 new cases, more or less, in Florida?
Something like that.
That's not a little number.
No.
That's a big number.
So,
and we're at about 80% ICU utilization. That's our statewide average, which means we've got 20% cushion regarding our normal ICU capacity, and they can reinforce and fortify. But I mean, geez, back in March, we were at 40% ICU utilization. So people can argue it's not COVID, the hospital census is that, well, Jesus, the ICU's doubled. Is it because it's summertime? People are out doing summertime things? What the hell's happening? Something's happening.
Something's going on that, people just don't want to suck in and soak in all this corona knowledge and number facts and all this that is out there. This shit is real. And if we don't do what we're supposed to do, it's never gonna go away. We're not gonna have no normalcy. Everything gonna be the way it is. That's like since 9/11 happened, Korea has always been on a curfew. Before 2001, it was never a curfew. Now it's curfew, and it's been 19 years.
You should both be thanking me, because I have learned something about COVID that the rest of the world should know. See, I smoked weed with a guy. We shared a blunt. And the day later, he got sick with COVID, got himself tested, ended up positive. That's why I quarantined myself from the gym for a week. And, but I didn't get it. Right? So the answer is to prevention. I don't believe there's a cure here, but I believe there's a preventative medicine called marijuana that we can use to prevent the spread of COVID.
Now, Sonny, I just want to make sure I understand. You and Robbie, or whoever the person you're talking about, smoked the same blunt,
me.
right?
It is not me.
You both smoke marijuana. One of you still got it.
It's not me.
You even smoked the same blunt.
Yes, but it wasn't me.
But what I'm saying is
not talking
Look how
about
nervous
me.
he is.
No, but
Hell
what
I'm just saying that it's not me. He is not talking about me at all.
What I'm saying is that Robbie already had the Rona.
Oh, I see.
And it did not spread through weed. And
notably, he didn't get very sick from it.
No, he was sick for like 2 days and he recovered.
The weed.
Back
to your point.
See?
I'm not a doctor to say, I'm not a scientist to say you are right.
No. This is bro science. This is something totally different.
Oh, this is street science.
This is bro science. Yeah, street science.
Oh,
you can say whatever the fuck you want, and it's automatically peer reviewed by Bill here.
Yeah, how do you know he wasn't like really, really ill, but he's just like, fuck it. It's not that bad. Maybe you should go to the hospital. You don't look good. Fuck it.
Trying to talk, got smoke in his mouth. Trying to hide it.
Half his lungs out of his body. Fuck it. Just give me more.
See, this would also strengthen my other theory, which is that Ozzy Osbourne is patient zero.
Could be.
When he bit the head off the bat that many years ago, it took this long for the coronavirus to find its way through its body, to fight its way through like cocaine and years of meth and years of drug and alcohol abuse until it found the surface and it came out through his pores one day and he put it on the gym, on some gym equipment or some shit. And that's how we got the virus.
The one point I want to circle back to this presidential candidate thing. This is what puzzles me. If most Americans or a lot of Americans agree that neither candidate is a prize winner, why is everybody still fighting each other so hard? Like, let's say that this guy likes Trump, the other guy likes Biden, and maybe they don't like either one of them, but he's going to vote this way, that way, and they're still like doing this to each other. Like they're both losers.
Right.
They're both losers.
I would love to put both they've been together. They had the debates. But I would love to sit down with both of them and just talk to them like, okay, why you don't like him, why you don't like him, and what are you going to change and what are you going to change? Are y'all really going to make these changes? Or are you just trying to get a vote so you can have the seat? Because that's what I always see. That's why I'll never vote. I'm waiting to see, because I know, like Obama, and I can't even say this, he became the president, and I'm saying, okay, I was in the army, so whoever was the president, I was working for. So they always say the people's vote counts, and it didn't count when Trump became president, because from what I was, from me knowing what I see from facts, he lost the electoral votes. Hillary won the electoral votes.
Because I have a theory now, and it's gonna be a Sonny Parlin special here. You have Americans, and then you have some people that say, "Oh, I'm a Republican." You got some that say I'm a Democrat, and then above them, this little group, you got the Democratic Party leadership and the Republican Party leadership, and these people are all richer than the Queen of Sheba. Those two groups, and they get richer and more powerful when the rest of us hate each other. When the black guy's afraid of the white guy's afraid of the black guy, the Jewish guy feels like everybody's against him, and everybody stir it up. Both the Democratic Party leadership and the Republican Party leadership get richer. Anytime one shakes his finger at the other, they both get flooded with donations, and every time they turn us against us, they're richer and they get more powerful.
Yep.
And this is like the same shit you read about in Roman history. Like, what did the patriarchs do? Well, they kept the plebes at each other's throat. And then they gave them a circus to distract them from what was really going on. It's a game.
Yeah, it is. It's a big chess game. And I know this because I was one of the pieces. That's what the military are. We are the chess pieces on the board. Congress are the ones moving the pieces. So when they tell us to go to Iraq, they sliding up pieces over to try to get the checkmate and try to conquer that spot. That's what we are.
So this is my point. I ain't going to hate nobody because some rich people in these two groups want me to hate people. And if other people are saying, no, we should all hate each other, I'm going to say, there's your prank. They fell for the prank.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what we got. We got pranked. United States got pranked. They got the prankster, the artist that ran the whole prank, and that was Trump.
No, but they both do it. This is the problem.
Yeah, I'm saying right now, we currently have that rich guy, that entertainer, because he's an entertainer to me. He's out there on Shark Tank and all that. He's an entertainer just like Kanye. And anybody else that want to be a president, it's a prank to me, because you are just somebody that's rich, that got money, that I can make a change. I'm going to do this. And you're going to get a bunch of people to follow you and to support you, and you actually want to have some bullshit that you're saying that's going to let these people believe that bullshit, and they're going to vote. It's
funny, within a term, and definitely too, being in Congress, they become millionaires.
Yeah,
they become millionaires.
I learned this through that movie, Eddie Murphy, Distinguished Gentleman. I want to be a politician.
And it's not just in the movie.
They pay easy money just to be.
Yeah,
they get their stupid money, and I'm pretty sure, I know there's a movie, but I know a lot of that stuff had to get researched.
It's not just the movies. They have to report the money they get. Now, a lot of that stuff's off book. Yeah, all of a sudden their kid got to spend the weekend in the fucking palace, excuse my language.
Hamptons, and they go
whatever it is. Yeah. And all that has an economic value, but I mean, that's real. They have to report. All of a sudden they all become millionaires. I got a book deal. Okay, great. You got a book deal.
Right.
That's what we need to turn with this.
We had a good show. I appreciate everybody stopping in. I can see you, Sonny, ready to.
Sorry, Sonny. I didn't mean to talk.
No, it's all right. I was just getting it ready. I didn't realize it was going on screen. I was just getting it ready.
Oh, no, that's cool. I like it anyway.
All right.
I like it. But I mean, the show, I love. Bill, I appreciate you coming through. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Watching and everything.
Bill's always a great guest.
We always try to have some good content and something good to talk about. But yeah, every time Bill come on, and whether he and everybody else that's been a guest on the show, we appreciate it, and appreciate everybody watching. And with that being said, Sonny, hit that play button. Sonny got it right this time. Got it.